my name is Aaron Price. I'm the founder and I'm an entrepreneur and originally built this to try, or started this to try to build a community of entrepreneurs to surround myself with, hoping that it would be like 20 people at a bar, and now here we are, almost 4 years later, with like 20 people on a wait list, which is cool. So thank you everybody for coming tonight and keeping those RCPs up to date. How many people here are here for the first time? A bunch. Okay, so a little bit about the group. We are New Jersey's largest technology community. We're about 3,525 members as of a couple hours ago. This is our main event, so when you see an event that is NJ Tech Meetup and a number, that is this, and it's not always here, so always check the location, by the way. We also occasionally run workshops, so you might see we'll do something with accounting for startups or legal for startups, or if you'd like us to do something around a particular topic, let me know and we can try to make it happen. Meetup's a good place to RSVP, but not a great place to network, so join the LinkedIn group and it's a more efficient way to connect with people in the room. We're also using LiveCube tonight, which some of you may have seen in an announcement, so you should pull out your device. I encourage you to have your device. Go to njtech.co and add to the conversation. I'm going to force you to do it in a minute. The whole point of this group is to spark connections and inspire ideas. And so hopefully you've met some people already, and the rest of the night is around trying to inspire some ideas. And as I mentioned, we're going to be powering the online version of that same experience with sparking connections and inspiring ideas with LiveCube at njtech.co. And so there you can tweet and basically take notes on the things you find interesting and network with the people in the room. And at the end of the night, it's all powered through gamification. There will be a winner who earns the most points, who will earn a one-on-one strategy session with tonight's featured speaker. So if you're interested in hearing from how the former CEO of HopStop built it and grew it to Apple, you might want to participate. And to show you how cool technology can be for an event like this, we're going to all play something called the Space Race. So take out your device, go to njtech.co. I know there might be some connectivity issues, and we're going to see how that goes. And if Kevin, you wouldn't mind pulling that up in the meantime, give me 1 second. So, you'll notice on the bottom of the screen in front of you, there are 4 rocket ships. And as each of you has joined njtech.co, you've been randomly assigned to a team based on color. And in a minute, you're all going to compete with one another to see which team can win. When we hit 70, we'll start. njtech.co, by the way, for those of you who may have missed. All right, so watch your device. Kevin, can you start this up? Here we go. So the faster you hit the button on your device, the faster that rocket ship moves to the top of the screen. And your collective taps will accelerate your rocket ships faster. There you go. Come on, Magenta. Yellow in the lead. Shit talking happening from Team Yellow. 3 seconds to go. Wow. Let's see. Wow. Magenta kind of lame. There we go. That would be a bug. It's supposed to tell you who won.
Oh, no. That trombone.
That's awesome. We don't know who won. That would be my startup. That's called LiveCube. So that's what happens when you get to be when you get to own the mic and shit happens. So sorry about that. But those of you who won, I should have said on your device. Did anybody get the message on your device that said you won? Congrats. No, nobody. Well, you all should have gotten. Those of you who won 10 points, everybody got 3 for participating. But that really is to show you the kind of fun things we can do with technology during events on your phones. So participate in the event, tap on the session that is NJ Tech Meetup 46, and you'll see a few more things you can do to earn points and participate. So I asked how many people were here for the first time, who primarily identifies as an entrepreneur? Nice. Wow. What is everybody else doing? Who's primarily a software developer or engineer? How many people here from Stevens today? Okay. How about investors? How many investors in the room? I know we have a couple. There's one halvesy hand. How many people have full-time jobs that are not their own business or a startup? Okay, cool. Who thinks they came here from the furthest away? We'll get to you guys. Where are you guys from? Right there, yeah? Wow, first one international. Usually you have to beg for those. Switzerland, nice. Let's welcome the guys from Switzerland. Who else? I know these guys. Where are you guys from? Bangalore. From Bangalore. First two international. We've had someone international almost every month. The first clap, kind of sad, so let's try it again. Welcome the international attendees tonight. We have a few rules. So, first of all, what's the first rule? Oh, sign in. So if you haven't signed in, please see them in the back and make sure you sign in. We do keep a list of people who are no-shows at the event and send out what we call the no-show list of shame. So please make sure you keep your RSVPs up to date so that those on the wait list can get in. Meet and be nice to your neighbors. That's really the main point of tonight, is to make some new connections. And please leave feedback. It's how we can show, how we can learn from the things that you liked and didn't like and provide some better programming, hopefully. If you're interested in all things NJ Tech related, we consolidate all the social media and events at njtech.me. The event itself, or the group itself, has been recognized in a lot of respected publications like the Wall Street Journal and Fast Company. And I say that because, one, I like to brag about it, and two, because it's actually really important for the New Jersey startup ecosystem. This is just one event of many that are going on around the state. And if you want to support an emerging and strong startup ecosystem, then I encourage you to help spread the word and champion the startup ecosystem in your own backyard, wherever that may be. The event's made possible by a few sponsors, and so I just want to take a moment to acknowledge who they are. First is Stevens, and we have some Stevens people in the room tonight. I know Don, maybe if you want to quickly mention what Sandra was talking about at the expo.
Sure.
You could just yell.
Yeah, okay, so Stevens is having this Innovation Expo on April 30th, where students come out and show their really, really cool projects in engineering. And there's going to be an elevator pitch competition, and they're looking for judges. So there's going to be a project plan pitch competition and an elevator pitch competition. So one is a business and a product, and one is like building, like a civil engineering bridge or something like that. So they're looking for judges. To sign up, go to stevens.edu/expo, and we're going to need you on 3 different days. We're going to need you on April 23rd, 24th, and then the 30th. So if you're interested, just go to that website and sign up.
Thank you very much. Anyone from Soren Rand here tonight? I don't think I saw anyone. No? So Soren Rand is a startup-friendly law firm that works with a lot of very early stage, sometimes for day one entrepreneurs and startups with pricing structures that's very attractive to early stage companies. So check out Soren Rand. .com Weavers is also a startup-friendly site or group that builds early stage apps and prototypes for startups. Check out .comweavers.com. From Morgan Lewis. Do we have anybody from Morgan Lewis tonight? No. So another startup-friendly law firm. And I know that they might just seem like logos, but I've actually talked to these guys, to all the companies on the screen or on stage, and they've all been vetted to be startup-friendly. And if you find out otherwise, please let me know. Our goal is to make it so that you can spend more time building your businesses and less time vetting service providers. From phone.com, usually somebody here, no shows. So phone.com is a VoIP phone service for small businesses. And if you go to the Meetup and sign up via the link there, you'll get a year of service for free. It allows you to have extensions and call forwarding and lots of things that make you sound like a bigger business than you actually are. Eisner Amper, where's Dave? There we go. What do you got?
I'm Dave Katz, Eisner Amper, part of our technology group. So if you're not familiar with us, we're a full service public accounting, consulting, tax firm, offices in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. We work with startups to successful public companies and everywhere in between. So we can help you. If you want to learn more about our firm, thanks.
Weiser Mazar is also an accounting and strategy firm. Again, very focused on technology and startups. And lastly, Inflection Interactive is a marketing company that allows you to outsource a lot of your early stage marketing efforts to a group of digital marketers. So a lot of times people have things that they're interested in sharing with the group in ways that they can help, or things that they're looking for help with. So this is your opportunity to stand up. You have 10 or 20 seconds to just say what your name is, what you can help with, what you're looking for help with, and how to contact you. It might seem like an easy thing to do, but try to do that in 20 seconds. I would really appreciate it. So who wants to go first? Yes, sir.
Okay, Greg Bond with AT&T Labs Research. I'm a director there. We're looking for a full-time experienced developer to work with us in cloud computing, so like 10 years experience. Also, I'm looking for volunteers for Hoboken High School's Junior Prep Day. So if if you live in Hoboken, you want to help some kids, expose them to the kind of career experience you have, let me know.
Best way for them to get in touch with you?
Just come see me after we're all done here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who else? Come on, everybody's got something. You up? What do you got?
I am Ryan Shearman from Fusion Technologies. I need help growing my team. We're looking for Android developers. I can help with pretty much anything from electric vehicles through prototyping and helping you find mechanical or computer programming engineers not in the Android space. You can help. You can find me afterwards. I'll give you my card and we can exchange contact information.
Yep.
I have a radio show called Susie Fantastic. Anybody wants to be on, you can just contact me and we'll promote you. I also wanted to say I have a special event coming to the Distillery Gallery in Jersey City. That's going to be a children's birthday exhibition.
A distillery event?
So at the Distillery
At
Gallery
Distillery.
Art Space.
Just get the kids drunk. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Ravi Bala. I'm an attorney at law at a law firm called Florio Perucci Steinhardt Bayer. We're also a tech-friendly company. We do startup services, any legal services, litigation, business formation, corporate business law. So feel free to contact me.
So since he's a councilman in Hoboken, we're gonna let that slide, but if you are a service provider, please do not do that. Yes.
So we are Mayur, we are a startup. I provide free architecture consulting. What I need help with is I can help you build an architecture, and you can contact me on our website, supportanalytics.com.
Couple more. Or no more. Somebody needs help. Yeah, Danny, what do you got?
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm a photographer, and I'm also a Google Trusted Photographer. That means if you want to do a 360 tour, like Google Street View map view, if you want to do it in your business, your workplace, I can do that for you. I can help you with photos. Again, it's Danny at customphotoshoot.com.
Danny's been taking the photos for the meetup for the last, 2 years, and they're awesome. He's a great photographer. If you need headshots or something, check it out. Anybody else? Yes, in the back?
I'm Jenny Paul. I'm looking for an intern job in December, and I'm majoring in computer science. I think I'm a good web developer, and I'm just a student, just out of school. So I hope I can get an opportunity to be it.
Looking for an internship. There's got to be somebody here who can give him an internship. Last one from this side? Yes, last one.
Hi, Kareem Farag. Josh and I just started a digital health company. We're looking for an iOS app developer. I'm also an advisor for a healthcare IT startup, so I could do advising for any kind of digital media or technology firms. And you can find me at Kareem@connect.care.com.
Thanks, guys. So a couple of people from the group have joined together to launch a General Assembly style tech school in New Jersey, or potentially New Jersey at least, called Fuel. So if you're interested in this program, they need your feedback. Please take the survey at fuel.am to take potentially engineering classes, design classes, entrepreneurship classes. So check out fuel.am. So over the last 4 years, we've had some amazing speakers. One of them is my friend Andrew Weinrich, who started 6 Degrees, which was one of the early competitors to Facebook. This year he sold Xtify to IBM and Meet Moi to Match, and he's putting on an intensive entrepreneurial weekend called Andrew's Roadmaps. And we are actually, this is the first public announcement about the entire event. If you're interested in attending, you'll leave with about 10 business documents and a lot of knowledge that's going to come directly from him and the people that have supported him over the last 10 years. With the code NJTech20, you can get 20% off. That won't be available for much longer, and I think it's actually only limited to 10 people. So that event is in May. It's andrewsroadmaps.com. Highly recommended. He was probably the top rated, or among the top 3 rated speakers that we've had here in 4 years. So I couldn't more highly endorse Andrew and his and Andrew's roadmap. So check that out. If you have things you'd like to announce to the group publicly, whether they're awards you've won, or you're looking to make hires, or you're looking to be hired as an intern, you can go to njtech.me/submitnews, and it'll aggregate in the Google Doc that we'll put into a newsletter if it's appropriate, and we're happy to send it around to the entire group with every newsletter. With that, and please don't send those to me individually, because people try to do that, which I appreciate, but it's just unmanageable. So please go to njtech.me/submitnews. So with that, we're going to have 3 startups tonight. All of them have come out of Stevens, which is not normally the case, so I'm excited to see and to show off what they've been working on. We have our main speaker, and then we're going to do some closing remarks. We're going to actually vote on the best startup of the night. They're going to win that trophy, which has been rebranded from a childhood trophy to Audience Choice Award trophy. And then we'll go to drinks for those of you who are interested at Littletown, and that's the trophy. So with that, let's start with Emily and my sports page. Is that right? Yes. So let's warmly welcome her up here. Come on.
Thank you. I was really hoping to get to go first tonight. My name is Emily Beach. I am the head field hockey coach here at Stevens, and I've been here for 3 years now and coaching for 7. In that time, I've developed my sports page, which is a recruiting website to help connect high school athletes with college coaches and their athletics programs. So the way I can relate this to those of you in the room who aren't familiar with athletics or didn't play at the high school or college level, the best way I can do that is if we can think back to the days when we were dating and you're out at a bar or at Littletown tonight and you see someone you're interested in and you decide you want to approach them. So you get their name, and upon going home at the end of the night, you start to online stalk them for the next 48 hours or whatever. This is a very similar process in recruiting. We're out at a tournament and we find somebody who we think can help our program, and we find their name and we go back to the office the next week and we continually stalk them until we have enough information to decide whether they'd be a good fit for our program. So basically what I've created is a one-stop shop where we can do that online. So my sports page is an opportunity for us to connect with high school athletes and vice versa. Coaches need this basically to save all that time that I'm putting in the office, Googling people on YouTube, searching their names, trying to find videos, looking for stats, trying to connect with their guidance counselor and get academic information. I would be able to do this all in one place on my sports page and save, probably 60% of my office time that I'm doing now with that. So in addition to that, I'd be able to highlight my program. So Stevens Field Hockey, get it out there to student athletes who might not be aware of it now. As far as the athletes go, oh look, I put some animation on this one. And a place for them to market themselves for free. So right now, the stuff that exists, which I'll talk about in a minute, all costs for student athletes to be a part of. So they'd be able to get on my sports page and market themselves without paying for it. They'd be able to store and organize their personal highlights. So a place to just keep pictures, videos, things along those lines, as they can on Facebook and places like that right now. Searching for schools. So this is a unique function that would be on my sports page that's not on our competitor websites. And it would basically allow someone to find a program that really fits their needs, their interests, and their ability levels. And coaches would be able to search them as well. And, a positive social networking site. So if you can picture LinkedIn versus Twitter or Facebook, high school students in general right now have some trouble because they post things on Facebook that they might not want certain people to see, their parents probably first and foremost, future employers, college admissions counselors, stuff like that. So my sports page would be a fully positive social media experience for them to have. No reason to keep their profiles private. So what's out there right now is, let's see, we're not getting to the next slide here. No. Oh, here we go. Thanks. So what's out there right now, there's a handful of websites that do similar things. NCSA and BeRecruited.com are probably two of the most well-known. They range in cost from about a few $100s to a few thousand. So students, athletes, mostly their parents, are paying this money to market themselves to college programs and college coaches. Most of them who you ask after the fact, and you can Google these sites and find out that not everybody's totally satisfied with their experience with them. You know, they just say they didn't get what they felt like they were promised when they originally signed up. And I think there's a few key problems for this. The cost is very high in my opinion. I think, you know, $1 is too much for someone to be able to market themselves in a positive way. But also, the people who started these websites have zero experience from the coaching side of recruiting. So many of them are former college athletes who decided there's space for this and I think I could make money putting a website together to help people get connected. In addition to that, you know, maybe parents of kids who went through the recruiting process. So even farther removed from the people who are actually going to be using the website. I think what gives me a unique ability to create a superior product is the fact that I have experience on both sides of it. So I was a high school and college athlete, and now I've been coaching for 7 years. So I went through the recruiting process as an athlete, and now I've seen it from the coaching perspective. So I think that gives me a unique ability to really create something that will help the students as well as helping the coaches and their programs. So just to go through a few screenshots that we've created in the computer science class we worked with this semester. This is sort of an idea of what the website would look like. Now, keep in mind we haven't had a graphic designer or anyone artistic working on this project, so this is not what it would look like when we're ready to roll it out, but just to give you a sense of the functionality of the website. We have the initial page that you would go into, so this would give you the ability to search around the website, see what it's all about, create your profile, or sign in. So this would be kind of the initial website that you come to. Followed by the athlete's profile page. So this is where the athlete would post their stuff. So you can see a few of the tabs represented, personal information, contact information, high school. There will be statistics, photos, videos, academic information to a certain degree, a link to their guidance counselor's email information so I can contact those people directly from this site. And then the search feature, which is really unique to my sports page, the ability for myself as a college coach to input a Division III field hockey player who wants to study engineering or business. So there aren't many field hockey players out there who fall into that category. So for me to be able to go to this website and say that's what I'm looking for and have it spit back a whole list of potential recruits is something that I desperately need. On the other hand, athletes could go in and say, a baseball player is looking for a school within 200 miles of Chicago that has a Division I baseball program and offers a computer science degree. They would then get spit back out at them a list of schools, some of which probably weren't on their radar initially. So they'd be able to connect with schools again that have their interests and abilities in mind. So that's sort of a little bit of the functionality of the website. Where's the money coming from? I'm sure a lot of you are wondering. We would be generating revenue through advertising. So if you just think for a moment, who would want to advertise to over 7 million high school athletes and over tens of thousands college coaches, athletics personnel, and programs. Just a quick snapshot of some of those companies and conferences, schools. It's kind of an endless list. So that's where we are right now. I'm pretty sure, is that 5? All right, perfect. Thank you. My email is up here. I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have now. I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to go to Littletown, so I'll be there also later if any of you want to ask me questions there. Yep.
Do you have a pre-launch site and a Twitter account for the app?
We do not have either. So we really started developing this fall in the class, and so we are very new and just have been born basically, and this is my first pitch. I'm sure you can't tell, but.
Coach, if an entrepreneur approached you and said, I have this great new app, it's going to allow you to do all these features you just talked about, how many hoops would you have to jump through to have it accepted at your school?
0. This is something, I'm able on a personal level to sign up for any of these existing recruiting websites. There are rules in place by the NCAA that restrict us in certain degrees from a recruiting standpoint, but because I'm so familiar with those things, it's not a problem within the schools. Yeah.
How are you gonna, vet, I guess, schools and recruiters, to make sure that A, they're legitimate, and then B, that, they can't go in there and just contact, any student or any guidance counselor? What's the security protocol?
Right, so that was almost the first thing that the students asked me, and wasn't something I initially thought about, but I've had it, it's almost the first question I get every time I'm talking about this, but we would have a validation process. So somebody in administration at the school would have to validate their website, so the Stevens Field Hockey page, and on the other side for the athletes, high school coaches would be able to validate their players, as well as club coaches, high school administrators, anyone else who kind of knows that. So similar to the blue check on Twitter, they would have, an indication that so-and-so has validated their account.
So some random person couldn't go in and search for a student and contact them?
Correct. Yeah, you'd have to have an account. Yeah.
Would you also do compliance for, say, Division I college coaches that can't contact before,
Right. So there's a lot of rules in place in Division I more so and Division II because they're offering athletic scholarships. Those coaches would be held responsible to keep themselves in check so they're not breaking rules. But student athletes a lot of times in high school don't know the rules, so they'll contact coaches too early, and the coaches are able to write back and say, I can't talk to you until July 1st or September 1st, your senior year. Yep.
Do you offer any services such as highlight reel editing or stat compilations, or just more matching?
This would simply be an area or platform for them to post their personal stuff. So we talked about using YouTube links as the video function, so we didn't have to hold that data. Anyone else? All right, thank you very much.
All right, I'm really glad I'm not going last because the rule for performers is never follow a children act or a pet act, an animal act. Wait to see what's coming next. All right, well, I'm here to tell you about a powerful approach for describing data, including for business applications. For example, suppose a company comes to you and says they have 60 retail outlet stores where they sell industrial supplies and equipment, and they want to be able to predict the performance of these stores. So they have measured, in this case, 13 variables that they think have that predictive power, things like market share, how old the store is, how clean it is, things like that. How do you relate those 13 variables to the thing that you want to predict? They were asking for gross margin, ultimately determining which stores are over-predicting or under-predicting. Many of you may know there are a lot of techniques for doing this, statistical techniques. I'm going to mention two that I'll compare my approach to. Best known, best understood, most commonly used, multilinear regression. It just models the data by combining straight line relationships of individual variables, checking to make sure that when you add it into the model, it contributes significantly to the goodness of fit. But if the data perform in other than a straight line way, in a curvilinear way, or if they interact between variables, this method will fail. Other approaches, expansions of this can take that into account, one of which is artificial neural networks, which is a form of AI, some of you may have heard about. This can describe complex relationships like I just described, and as a result it gets more accuracy. Unfortunately, sometimes it gets too much accuracy. It's capable of what they call memorizing the noise, also known as overfitting. That when you apply that to broader situations, that causes this method to give bad results. Also, this is a classic black box. In other words, it doesn't show you how it's doing its magic. What's going inside, what the relationships are among the variables. The approach that I have is combines kind of the advantages of these two approaches. I call it tailor fit. The way it works is by multiplying together polynomial functions of the individual variables. So it gives you that curvilinear relationship, and it also can describe interactions. But because you only put in terms that contribute to the fit, it resists overfitting. So it gives you accuracy comparable to neural networks. But it also is transparent. It shows you what's going on. You can analyze, you can look at the relationships and find out underlying what's going on. So of the 13 variables in the example that I've given you, neural networks can only pop out 2 of them. The other ones it doesn't find a linear relationship with. Neural networks, throw them all in the mix, tells you nothing about it. It just use them all, doesn't tell you which ones are important, which ones are not important, or what the relationships are among them. Tailor fit selected, it got the accuracy using only 6 of the variables. So it says 7, first of all, don't affect the profitability of these stores. And of the 6 that it did use, they're grouped. You can see by color here to show that, for example, market share depends on how many years the store has been there. So that's something that you can't discover with these other types of approaches. So linear regression, neural networks, their advantages are mutually exclusive. And the tailor fit combines all those advantages together. So for the company, they get better specification of what's going on, better, more accurate prediction, fewer errors, and also ability to tease out the why of the relationships so that they might be able to use that to plan remedial actions instead of, say, having to close stores down that seem to be less profitable. So either way, expensive errors can be avoided. Well, when you learn how tailor fit works, you start to see applications everywhere. And this just summarizes a few possible areas, many business applications, medical and so on. Just to mention one, business analytics is a case where companies analyze data that they have on their customers and try to find relationships that are useful. For example, a loan company wants to be able to predict the probability that one of the applicants might default on loans. Who are the risky applicants? And they use that by developing models based on credit history, credit reports, income, and other variables. So just that one sector, business analytics alone, already 2 years ago was a $35 billion market and growing significantly because this kind of analysis gives businesses a competitive advantage. So this is a hot area and definitely growing. A little bit about myself and the team that's involved in this. I myself, you would never guess from what I've been describing, I'm an environmental engineer. I'm a professor here at Stevens teaching environmental engineering. And I started down this road because I was using this for studying statistical approaches for process control of treatment processes. But statistics applies to anything. It's very broad in their applications. And so I put together this team. I've been working with Professor Klappholz of the computer science department here and his teams of students. They've improved on my software, developed a GUI for it, and also did some improvements to the computational engine. And going forward, we're probably going to have a senior design project next year to continue the development. But there's a lot of development work yet to be done, and I can use some help with doing that. That's why I'm up here looking for help with supporting the development, eventually supporting sales and marketing, both of the software itself and of the analytical services that would result from it. So that's it. Thanks, and thanks for listening to me, and I look forward to any questions you have. too much. You're waiting for the Animal Act.
How the funding for the program look like? Would it be API or like some physical module or ARC or any other program?
Currently, it's a standalone program that it'll read in data from Excel files and other kinds of files, and the plan is to have it generate, for example, output that could be used as C++ code or Excel code or whatever. And very flexible user interface that shows you your data, shows the relationships as you're generating them. Because there is some art to it, so it makes things very transparent and obvious as you're going along. Yes, sir.
Do you have a patent for this approach?
No, I don't. I did put a disclosure out, but I've not patented it. Yes, sir.
Any proof that it actually works in terms of pilots or anything like that?
I have plenty of examples I published on this, so I have comparisons that I can show.
Commercial pilots?
Say again?
Pilots with customers or?
Yeah, well, this was one example that I gave. This was a real example with the retail stores, and it has some others as well. And there's a website at the bottom there. There is more information about it on there. It also includes a primer and how it works to get more technical details about the modeling approach.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So my name is Dana Romano, and I'm the founder of F-Screener. And this is Bentley. He hails from Alabama and made his way to Brooklyn about 2 years ago, where I found him. How many here are pet owners? Awesome. And how many people adopted their pet? I won't judge. Okay, good. So when I went through the process, I felt like I was jumping through hoops. Despite my best intentions, I was on the verge of buying. I wanted to add a second dog to my pack, and I started going through the process and found it really difficult. And luckily found Bentley just in time, but the process made me realize that there's a way to make this better. So when I started looking at the space, I realized that there was over 300,000 animals adoptable at any one point from over 13,000 rescue organizations. But the problem was that there wasn't one single universal application. Every time you go to a rescue organization, you have to fill out a unique application, and you have to go through this process multiple times. So that's the point at which I decided it would be my mission to create a universal application that made the process inviting, manageable, and convenient for both the adopters and the rescue organizations that serve people looking for these pets. So to put things into perspective, let's look at dogs for a second. Right now, there's about 15,000 puppy mills in the United States, and they pump out about 4 million dogs a year. On the flip side of that, in shelters across the United States, 4 million animals are being euthanized. So if there's so much demand, why is this happening? And the premise is that rescues are overworked, they're understaffed, and they're typically all volunteer. They can't handle the volume of requests coming into them. They don't have the technical abilities to manage the applications beyond blogs and emails, and a lot of times applications fall through the cracks during that process. And so as much as we want to do the right thing, oftentimes buying becomes the easier, quicker, more convenient way. So let's talk about the process. For those of you who have experienced it, you know you start out on Pet Finder. When I started looking for a second dog, I went to Pet Finder. You could also go to Adopt a Pet, Bidawee. There's a lot of sites out there. Oftentimes, you find the dog of your dreams, right? The one that looks perfect for your family. You watch the video, you fall in love, you fill out an application like they ask, and then you sit and wait, and nothing happens. Sometimes you don't get a response at all. So then you go back to Pet Finder, and you find the next dog that looks like the perfect fit, and you fill out another application. And this time, you get a response. They approve your application, and now the next step is a home visit. So they come and check out your place, make sure that you have all the right amenities for a dog, it's not a dangerous environment, and then you get devastating news. The dog is no longer available for adoption, it went to another family that was already pre-approved, and you go back to Pet Finder. And you go through this process over and over. Oftentimes, you're talking to a different rescue every time you go back to Pet Finder, and that means another application. So what is the solution? A streamlined adoption application that you fill out one time and can feed to any shelter or rescue organization. And then a flip side, the tool to help the rescue or shelter manage that application, feed back to you a response so that you know that they actually read it. And finally, a searchable database. Right now, rescues and shelters can only post out the pets that they have as adoptable, but they have no way of finding people looking for them. So as we get more users into our system, it will allow the rescues and shelters to go search for people who are willing to take on an animal that has a health issue or a behavior problem that someone might be equipped to handle. And so what I was able to do with the students is build out sort of a proof of concept, a working prototype, and this made it a lot easier to go to developers to start building up the process. And also it helped me talk to shelters and rescue organizations and help them understand what the concept was. It was great also talking to investors and having something to show them instead of ideas. So the project was really beneficial in that way. So let's talk about the market and kind of where this is going next. As I said, there's over 300,000 pets at any one point adoptable on Pet Finder alone, and 13,000 rescue groups. There's over 30 new shelters added each week, and it continues to grow incrementally. In New York City alone, they've got 105 to 150 private shelters. And so how does that translate into dollars? There's an application fee paid for by the adopter. It is no cost to the rescue or shelter organization, which is really the key to making this work. The searchable database, however, is a subscription-based model. We also offer product sales at the point of checkout when you adopt your pet and pay your fee, so that you can be ready to take your new pet home. And we also have ad revenue and brand partnerships. And a little background on me, for those wondering, my undergraduate work is in animal science. I've owned dogs and horses my entire life. I am a huge animal lover and advocate. I volunteer with several rescues, and now I work in tech somehow. I made the leap. I do project, product, and program management for the last 6 years. I'm currently at Gilt as a program manager in our data team. And so I have enough technical knowledge to be dangerous with the tech team, but I am looking for a tech counterpart, a developer, and if there are any investors in the room who are interested, I'm also looking for strategic partnerships in that area as well. Anyone has questions?
Would be places to set up where the shelter could actually, because I know a lot of them want donations, where they can do like the recommended donations and stuff on the site.
Yeah, so that's part of the checkout process. You'll be able to pay the adoption fee to the rescue. In addition, at that point, being able to purchase products like crates and bowls and dishes or pet insurance and things of that nature to make it easier for this is really the one-stop shop for the rescue organization, so they don't have to go outside of the application. They can manage the responses, they can manage home visits and commentary on the applicant and feed that back as well.
So it doesn't replace Pet Finder, it takes over after you found the pet and
Correct.
manage the process subsequently?
Yep.
Would you partner then with Pet Finder, or do you have to have a synergistic relationship?
So technically we, from a API or technical component, we don't have to interact with them at all. In the profile on Pet Finder, they can simply put a link for the animal to set up the application. In the future, that would be a great partnership. In fact, Adopt a Pet and Pet Finder are both owned by Purina, so that is an option that we're exploring. Okay.
So how about a round of applause for all three presenting clients? So these were all made possible by a program that Stevens offers. And I want to just introduce Professor Kleinbolt's up here to take a minute and tell you a little bit about it. Where do you go?
I teach two project courses. Students work. Oh, sorry. Yeah, students work in teams. One is a required junior level course. It's 1 semester long. The other is the senior level capstone course. They're all computer science department projects. The educational objective of the projects is for the students to learn the entire software development life cycle.
You gotta hold that mic a lot.
Oh, sorry. Most of them have had a bunch of summer internships or co-op assignments. They know all sorts of technologies. They learn Python, Java, C++, HTML, CSS, and a whole bunch of other things in their courses. They can pick up, because of their backgrounds and their strengths, their technical strengths, they can pick up anything new. For example, I've noticed that Ruby on Rails is in great demand among startups these days. Any of my students can pick, who's never seen Ruby on Rails because we don't teach it in courses, can pick it up in about 2 days and be much better at it than somebody without a strong technical background, who's taken a month to learn it, whatever. We also do projects for not-for-profits, pro bono, projects for startups. We ask for a small percentage of equity, and we do pro bono for not-for-profits. So if you know of a not-for-profit that can use software development, we'd like to hear from you. If you're a startup, an early stage startup that needs software developed, like the 3 startups that we just talked about. These were all, by the way, in the junior level 1 semester course. In the senior level course, we're doing 4 startup projects this semester. They will hopefully be pitched, say, next fall, because they're not finished yet. The academic year isn't over yet. Some of you may know 2 of the entrepreneurs whom we're doing projects with. One is Krishna Malayala, the other is Dennis Harabin. Krishna's project is doing so well that it looks, I'll put money on it, he's going to get into Techstars over the summer in London for Barclays Bank, and he's already actually sold product. Well, there are all sorts of reasons that the entrepreneurs who've come to us have come to us rather than looking in other directions. I can talk about that as well. But if you have the slightest interest, just come over and we can talk. Most of you actually got the 1-page blurb that I've put on all the chairs. I think I ran out before the last 3 rows over here, but most of you have seen them. So I'll stick around after the meetup and we can talk if you're at all interested.